And welcome this Sunday to our newly named memorabilia show. It's now called The Buyer's Market. I'm your host, Darren Rovell from the Action Network. We started this memorabilia show not only because memorabilia was so hot, but because of Michael Jordan and The Last Dance and to see what happened. And guess what? Over the past couple months, it has not gotten any cooler. Michael Jordan, PSA 10, 1986 rookie fleers are still selling for 75 grand. There is an auction on August 6th from Collect Auctions where there's 12 boxes. It's essentially a case of 86 Fleer, and that could hit $2 million. And then, of course, we have the highest price for a modern card in history last week at Golden Auctions, $1.8 million for the LeBron James 0304 Exquisite card. Purchased by Leor Abadar. We will have him on the show. We will have Nat Turner on the show, who famously told me that he let this one go at wait till you hear the price. And we'll have Ryan Hank on the show, who bought it from the guy who originally pulled it from the pack. So we are basically going to delve into this $1.8 million card and break it down from the beginning, the whole chain of custody, from the beginning to the end. Thanks for being here with us. We're excited. We have a giveaway. If you tweet at us, reply hashtag LeBron Raffle, and follow the Action Network HQ on Twitter, you are eligible to receive a LeBron Evolution canvas. It is a beautiful size. It's more than $100 value, and we are giving away that tonight. So I want to bring in Ryan Hank of the Miracle Shop. Ryan was the first guy to get the card from the guy who pulled it from the pack. All right, Ryan. So
hey, Darren. Hey, can you see me?
I can see you. So give me the scenario. So the pack comes out in 3-4, right? So someone pulls it. Now there's 23 of these, right? So it's signed. There's 23, which a lot of people don't understand. They're like, wait, it's 23. How did this get to 1.8 million? Yes, I know it's graded 9.5 by Beckett, but aren't there 22 others that have a shot? So let's start at the beginning. How do you hear about this particular card, and why do you want it? What year is it?
So this is a 2003, 2004 Upper Deck Exquisite, LeBron's rookie year. Actually, I had purchased a couple more of these before this. They were ungraded. I had kind of bought and sold a couple of them years before this, and so
out of the 23, you had
out of the 23.
Wow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. So had a few of those. So the guy that I got it from, he graded it. He's the one that graded it from Beckett. And I've done some deals with him in the past. And, I reached out to him, just telling him, hey, I'm going to be coming down to the show, to the National Card Convention.
What year is this? Is this right after?
No, this is 2013.
Okay.
So that's when I got the card. So I don't know exactly what happened before that. I know that he graded it. So 2013 is when I bought it.
Okay. And you bought it for how much?
What was it? I paid, I believe, $35,000.
Okay. $35,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you have any idea? Did you want to flip it right away? What was your strategy?
I didn't want to. So I'll give you a little more info. So the guy actually had 3 of them, not of the 23s, but there's also the base version out in 99. There's 99 of those. And he had 2 of those. One was a BGS 9.5, one was a BGS 9, and then he had this one. So we worked out.
Let me bring this back. Okay. So Exquisite is a set that Upper Deck came out with. Isn't it one card in a pack and it's $500 a pack? I think it's varied over time, but essentially a lot of people would say, why would a base card, when you think of a base card, you think of it unlimited. Why would a base card be out of 99? Because it's this exquisite. It's this special set for people who aren't part of the hobby. Okay.
Yeah. Brand new high-end product. And I mean, just, something that totally revolutionized the hobby. So So worked out a deal, picked up all three. You asked me, what was it with that? I mean, it was just kind of totally unique. I mean, I'm a basketball fan, I'm a sports fan, a card fan, and I collect LeBron. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer. But at the time, that was a crazy amount of money. I mean, for cards, for modern day cards,
crazy amount of money.
Yep. And so now, I mean, that's kind of what the going rate for, lower end cards. It seems
lower end cards. Yeah, exactly.
At the time, I was a little nervous. I bought it. I'm like, I could have bought a car. I could have done a lot of different things. I bought the card, and I wanted to hold it. But I had a couple opportunities. Like you had mentioned, I actually offered it to your next guest at one time. Checked the emails today. I went back to my email search and found the emails back and forth.
He showed me the email. That's always classic.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So that kind of brings us up to date there. And then I kept it for a while. And ended up somebody convinced me to sell it. So yeah.
And then you sold it for 50.
I think I told Nat 50 is kind of what I was looking for. I ended up doing the deal, I believe. I think it was a cash deal for like 46,000.
And when you did that, you were thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty nice. Easy.
Yeah, $12,000. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I never imagined cards going to this, to this stratosphere, to kind of doing what they're doing now. I mean, I don't think anybody really had that in mind. So.
What do you think of the marketplace right now? Is it real?
Well, I guess it depends on what you say is real. I mean, it's happening. I mean, there's buyers coming in. There's people spending big money. So, I mean, it's real. It's as real as I've seen it. I'm having a great time. I mean, if it's a hobby, I mean, I think you want to have a good time, and it's as great a time as ever to be in it. So.
What are you doing right now? What are you focusing on?
Just stuff I like. I mean, I'm not, I'm probably not going to buy it back for 1.8 million, a card like that, but I'm buying stuff I like, collecting kind of, inserts. I mean, I've always been big into basketball. So LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant are the big ones, obviously. Some of the newer guys, Giannis, Luka, Trae Young, kind of looking at some of that, but I've always kind of had a philosophy to buy the guys that have actually done something, who are, kind of the best at their craft, whether it's Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, even Babe Ruth. I mean, I do a lot of vintage. So, it's kind of just always going with guys that are at the top of the game.
Yeah. You're not taking any risks on Zion yet?
I love watching them. Everybody asks me, why am I not buying? I love watching them. Just me personally, I'd rather watch them than invest in them. So,
right.
Yeah.
And what would you say to people who are just getting into the business? You've been doing
great
in 20 years. What would you say? What's your advice?
I mean, collect what you love, but I mean, it's a great time. I mean, everything's so accessible. I mean, with social media and with just the platforms that are available, everything's so accessible. So, I mean, it makes it a really good opportunity for collectors to get what they want. The product selection is great, a lot of variety, and I mean, it's so international now. So, I mean, you can, you're dealing with people all over the world, and it just, it makes a really unique opportunity.
Ryan, thank you so much for your voice on this. Don't regret selling. I mean, who would have known? Who would have known?
Exactly, right?
Do
I regret selling?
Do we think there are others? Do we think because there's 23? Where the hell are the others?
I mean, I know where a few are,
and they're not 9.5, or they are.
I know there's a really nice BGS 9 out there. Probably has the best combination of patch and grades overall. I know where that is. Actually, I sold that one I think 4 years ago. So he has that tucked away. I believe there is one more 9.5. I haven't checked the pop, but I heard there's a second. I could be wrong on that though. So.
Wow. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this Sunday. I appreciate it. It's a great part of history. You touched it. You owned it. And given this market, who knows how long this is going to go on.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Darren.
All right. You got it.
All right. Have a good night. See ya.
All right. We're waiting for Nat Turner to join us. Nat sent me an email voluntarily. He is probably the best collector. I think he's the best collector in the world in terms of what he has. He was ahead of us all on unopened product. And he just absolutely killed it in this industry. And but he did leave some money on the table because he didn't have the this card, which again sold in Golden Auctions for $1.8 million. Do we have Nat yet? Not yet. Oh, he's here. He's here. Nat's here. Can we bring Nat up? There he is. Nat. There you are.
Hey, man.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm going through cards.
Of course. You know, we just talked to Ryan Hank, who touched many of these cards, right? Like, and you know, you volunteered to me that you missed the chance, which is so funny because when I see something where like I didn't, and I'm sure you've done this too, as a sophisticated investor, I go through emails and I'm like, when something sells, and I'm like, I see I have this email from 2015. I didn't respond to it. You know, the guy asked, do you want to put in? And I said, no, you know, and you do this a million times, right? Like mine was with Peloton. So when this whole thing went down, and you've done an incredible job of just being ahead. What were you seeing in 2013 when you got an offer to buy this thing? And could you ever imagine? Obviously you couldn't. I mean, could you ever imagine it would get here?
No, I couldn't. I mean, the card, so I collect LeBron and I collect his rookie cards in BGS 9.5. And I needed that card for my 9.5 set. And it was the only one at the time. See my dog.
Yeah, all good.
It was the only one at the time. And I think the most I'd paid for a LeBron card at that point was like 16,500, which was actually the one out of 99, the base one, 9.5. 2 years before that. And I just couldn't imagine, you know, a card being worth 3 times that. So I offered Ryan, who you just had on, 22.5 for the 9.5 out of 23, which Ken Golden just sold. But I remember lamenting over that email. I'm like, I really need the card. But I just couldn't fathom how a piece of cardboard with an autograph and a jersey on it was worth 50 grand at the time. But that was before LeBron really took off, you know, as far as his career. I mean, he was still big at the time.
No,
but
he didn't win it. He didn't. So he won, right. He won titles with, he didn't win the title with the Cavs.
And that was when things went crazy with his cards in 16, 17.
Right. Explain to everyone out there why I can get a LeBron jersey, for a game used jersey tied to a game, for $85,000, and because a lot of people who are not in the industry always ask me this question, and this little piece from this nondescript game does something. Now I understand Exquisite, but I think a lot of people who are viewing this now, there's a lot of new people into this hobby. What is it about the piece? What is it about Exquisite, and what is it about Scarcity?
Yeah, I mean, like cards are, you know, you can have them in your hand. They're collectible. You know, jerseys are giant. Like they're hard to store. You can't walk into Walmart and open a pack and pull one. Like there's the whole mystique around cards is a real thing. And in memorabilia, like jerseys and signed basketballs and shoes, it's just like there's a market for that, but it's just not the same. You know, like you asked, I was listening with Ryan, like, there was multiple cards in the pack. There was 4 or 5 cards in each pack. They were $500 a pack. You know, imagine spending $500 and then like flipping through the cards and seeing the LeBron card back into that. Like you can't do that with like a jersey. It's not as special. And you know, and this was the first year Exquisite came out. Like that's been around since then, but 03 was the first year. And that coincided with LeBron's rookie year, which is like, how crazy is that? And you asked this earlier, there's a second one. It was graded actually within the last year. A guy had it. This is one that sold privately recently, but it's beautiful. And it was ungraded for the last 17 years. And the owner consigned it and then shipped it off to Beckett. And he had 3 or 4 of them. I bought an 8.5. And one of them I remember seeing the pop report go from 1 to 2, like 17 years after so there are 2 of them. And there's, to answer your question before, like we all know where most of them are. The other 21 of them, there's a couple of good 9s that Ryan mentioned, but there might be 1 or 2 in the pack still. There's a few that are unaccounted for, but they're really thick cards. The chances of one getting a 9.5 are really small. So we're probably only going to see those 2 forever. And
you have some 2003-04 exquisite boxes, so you might have that thing in there.
Yeah, I've got 3 unopened cases, which have 3 boxes each, and then I've got 4 loose boxes, which most likely someone opened a case, got something good, and then sold the other boxes, so they're not as valuable. But
you taught me about that if there's like a great card in a case and then it's a single box, it's not really going to work.
Well, there are these things. Yeah, case hits, like, a case, like you'll have like a gold, for example, parallel 1 per case. So if you hit the gold, then you sell the rest of the case if you haven't opened all the boxes yet. But yeah, exquisite was like super unique. I mean, I remember back in 03, 04, it was like, I couldn't fathom spending $500 on a pack. But a pack now is no more. One just sold in Heritage for $40,000 a pack.
So do you regret passing on it, or was it just a moment in time?
And of course I regret it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, because you've won so many times, that doesn't take this sting away.
No, it's not, forget the appreciation and value. It's the fact that I need that card for my 9.5 LeBron set, and I likely will never have it unless, I get lucky. But the appreciation is one thing, but like that card is so rare. I own 2 of them out of 23. One's an 8, one's an 8.5. I'm just going to have to kind of be content with those, which I'm not complaining. Like, that's special. But I do collect cards based on the grade. I do, all my sets and everything are usually in PSA 10 or BGS 9.5. I just think it's really cool to have, gem mint cards. And, that's the one that I missed. So that's probably LeBron's best rookie card. So
last question to you, and I'm asking this to everyone on all our shows. What are we seeing right now, and why are we seeing it? Is it the stock market? Is it people have the nostalgia? They're going into their houses. Is it a combination of that? Is it gambling when there was no sports going on? What are we seeing in front of our eyes?
I think it's all of the above, combined with some really high profile people, shining a light on the hobby. I think once card prices kind of breached, call it $10,000, $20,000 for run of the mill rookie cards, like Ryan mentioned, all of a sudden investors are like, hey, buying a bunch of $100 cards doesn't move the needle. It's a logistics. It's an annoying thing to have all that product. But when you can drop, tens of thousands of dollars on a single piece of cardboard, it's like buying a piece of gold if you're an investor. So I think you're seeing a lot of like non-collectors speculating on cards as an asset class now that the prices have hit a point where it's interesting to them. But I think a lot of it, like, I'm spending more time on eBay the last 3 months. I'm bored. Sports aren't on TV, although they are now. Like, I fill the void on like playing around on eBay all day. And like, look, I literally have stacks of cards I'm going through right now. Like, it's just I think a lot of people are doing that just because it's filling the void. So,
you want to hear something crazy? When I looked at my phone time, for the first time ever, my eBay time surpassed my Twitter time. First time ever.
I think that's the case for me every day.
Yeah, eBay. But, yeah. Thanks for taking a part of your Sunday to do this. I appreciate it, even though it was with some humility. Thank you. It's amazing. You've won 99.9% of the time, so at least you can smile over that. Thanks.
I'll see you.
Okay, take care. All right, that was Nat Turner. I should remind you guys of the raffle that we have, the giveaway. Reply to us, hashtag LeBron Raffle. We're giving away Evolution of LeBron canvas wrap. And we are now going to bring in Lior Avidar, who is the guy who won the $1.8 million card and golden auctions. Lior, what's going on?
Hey, man. How's it going?
How are you?
Pretty good.
Do you have the card yet?
I don't have it yet. Soon, in the next 2 weeks, hopefully.
What are the complications?
It's hard to move a card that large. Apparently, you can't just send it through FedEx like any other card right now.
I'd like to insure it for $1.8 million. All right. Do you love the card?
I do. I think it means a lot for the industry. I think a lot about it. Like it's like the Apple of sports cards. And so as I've gotten into it over the last 4 years, I've learned to appreciate the different types of cards. Like there was this one Kobe card that I wanted. Nat has it. I'll probably never see that. And so when something like this comes to market, it might be a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so being part of that history, I think is pretty cool.
When did you leap over the whole card as asset class? When did you finally, like, it seems like, I mean, you got into 4 years ago, but when did you look at it as either artwork or something that was just more than, that was bigger than what it was then and what it is now?
I would say probably like mid 2017. Like I got into it because I just remembered as a kid when I was 7 or 8 years old, I wanted this rare Kobe Bryant card. I don't even think it's that rare. It was just an expensive card back then. It was $30 and I just wanted to have it. And so I remember buying the boxes. And then I started learning about the grading and I started looking on eBay. And then I started seeing them appreciate, and you can see all the different things that people were doing, whether it was grading and cross grading. And then I just started to see, okay, there's ways to make money from this, but also you just get to appreciate the card in itself. So probably back in 2017.
Tell me about your collection in general. What do you collect? You're a Kobe guy?
I love Kobe. I grew up watching Kobe. Up until probably 6 months ago, 99% of my collection was Kobe Bryant cards. I started collecting his rookie stuff, and I bought so much. I love, like Nat said, PSA 10. That's the style that I go for. And I remember just buying all the rookies. I wanted one of every one of his rookie cards in PSA 10. That was kind of like my first big like chase that I was really excited about. And then I started getting into Topps Chrome refractors, and I would say that's like my core right now. I just love how shiny they are, and they have them in different colors, so you can create the rainbows, which is basically one of every single color.
And by the way, it has a secondary false scarcity or a secondary real scarcity, because on those chrome things, it's hard to get a 10, right? They're always nicked in the corner. And so that's part of the sexiness of it all.
Yeah, it's nice. It's also cool to like, you can do them from different years. You can see like how the players age over time. It's just, you kind of get to appreciate the career that they've actually built. I mean, it's crazy that they still make Kobe Bryant cards 2 years ago, and there's ones from 1996 still. And when you look at the cards from 1996 compared to the ones from 2 years ago, just completely different. I mean, you got to have appreciation for how they actually like made these things back in 1996.
You said that you're doing something with this. When are you going to reveal what this something is?
In the next 90 days, probably.
Next 90 days. Okay. What are you going to do with the card? Like, what do you do with a $1.8 million card? Do you show it?
I think you show it and you tell stories about it. I think like the lineage that you put together was really cool. And I think for me, there's not just the story about the card itself, but the story of my collection. Like, I have the first card that I bought, the Kobe Bryant EX 2000, right? That green card. And then you have the different stories.
You still have the original one?
I don't have the original one because I wanted the PSA 10. So the first one that I got, I remember I sent it to PSA, I got a PSA 6. And then I learned I could just get the PSA 10. So I don't have the PSA 6 anymore. But I like the story. I like showing like how my collection has evolved over time. And every card has a story, right? It's like the art of the transaction is, I love negotiating. I love meeting these people, and you start dealing with people all over the world and hear about them pulling the card. And so that's what I like. I like showing it off. So it's not going to be something, it'll be something that I'll bring out and I get to talk about it with people. I get to meet cool people because of it.
You're the CEO of lob.com. How do you, what percentage of your mind space is thinking about like Nat's got his own business stuff, but like, do you think about it an hour a day? Do you think about cards?
Oh, man, Everyone at work knows about this for the longest time, because I would come in every single morning. I'm always checking eBay. I'm always encouraging people to get into it. Like I've gotten a couple of colleagues and friends into it. And I like coming into work, and I like talking about the things that I'm doing outside of work. And so I'm kind of the goofy CEO who's been buying basketball cards, and everyone's been rolling their eyes at me for 4+ years. And they're probably still rolling their eyes, but it brings me a lot of joy. I feel like I'm 7 years old again. I get to buy things that I never could have had before. And so I hope one day I can share it with my kids.
Before I get to the last question, I want to say that Tyler Hess has won the raffle for our LeBron Evolution canvas. So Tyler, we'll get your information and we'll send that baby to you. So Lior, I asked Nat this, I asked Ryan this. What are we looking at right now in this? Like, because I tell people, I'm like, I just don't know how real it is. And people are like, well, if the eBay sale is consummated, then it's real. If the auction went through, it's real. Like, what do you mean it's not real? Let's start with this. What do you advise new people into the hobby? What do you advise them to do?
Well, be smart. I would buy what you like, because if you like it, then it doesn't matter what it's worth or what you're going to resell it for. You're always going to be happy with it, right? I think that's the most important part. There's a lot of people out there who are just trying to flip cards, and there's a lot of pump and dumps out there. So just be smart about it. Just really buy what you like. Don't buy what other people like. I would say don't necessarily buy it for an investment purpose unless you've really educated yourself.
Do you think there's too much talk of this as this sector as an investment right now? You just said that it isn't.
There's a lot of talk. I think talk is good. I think there's a lot of people manufacturing talk, right? And so this is people who have basically bought a lot of a single card, and then they're announcing it on whatever platform and saying, I have them, right? And all of a sudden that card goes up by 2x, right? That's just a classic market manipulation. And I think every industry experiences this as it gets mature, and hopefully we'll rid this hobby of that sooner rather than later. But that's the not fun part about the hobby. And so I would just encourage people, like, find something that you can talk about with friends that you really like, or talk about it with your kids. I think that's why the industry is actually gaining a lot of popularity, is the people who bought cards when they were 7 or 8 are now old enough where they have kids that are 7 or 8, right? And so they want to share something across generational lines. And this is basically a piece of art with a story, right? And so people want to share stories, right? That's what culture is. So this is, I think, our modern day culture. I'm thinking it'll increase in popularity.
I found a box of 2013 Fleer Retro last night, and I swear to God, I was going to open it with my sons. And then I was like, okay, like, I had all these boxes for my attic that at the time really weren't worth that much money. And I looked on eBay, and there was a recent sale for $1,400. And honestly, it's hard to then say to my 6-year-old sons, like, guys, we're not opening this. Do you want to get some sort of video game?
But you can't pay for the joy on their faces when they get even a card of a player that they like, right? And so, like, that's what you're paying for, that experience, right?
I think I need 2 more years. You don't have kids yet. I think I need 8 years, 8 years old, 9 years old. I don't think they can respect the card yet,
Yeah, that's fair.
So, Lior, thanks so much for coming on, and we will be there whenever you announce what you announce. And congratulations on the card. It's an awesome piece, and it's great to be part of collecting history.
Yeah, excited to tell more and show it off soon.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
So there we have it. A first show on the buyer's market post Jordan. And we are talking about everything in the memorabilia space. We are going to continue to do this. It is very synergistic with the Action Network, since there's a lot of betting going on, and there are auctions that are going to go on for the next couple weeks. There's a weird one. Nate D. Sanders, by the way, has an auction piece of Paul Revere for his receipts for going from Boston to New York. That's already at $24,000. But as I said, the Jordan market, I thought, was actually going to tail off, and it has not tailed off at all. And there's a huge Golden Auctions Jordan auction that concludes on August 22nd. That is going to be monstrous, probably the biggest sports auction of all time. So we hope you enjoyed this edition of the Buyer's Market. Congratulations to Tyler Hess for winning our raffle. Make sure you follow the Action Network. Make sure you follow me and all of my Action Network colleagues. And let's just hope that sports continues to be back. Good night, everyone.